What's good, people? Welcome to another episode of my channel. If you're new here, welcome and thank you for stopping by. So today I want to talk to you about Square. And you may know this company by a popular product of theirs called CashApp. So before we dive deeper into it, I wanted to talk a little bit about the FinTech industry. So just so we're all on the same page, FinTech is really these financial technology companies that are working to develop online and mobile payments. And they work a lot with a lot of financial data. And they use this to make a system for people to be able to send money to each other efficiently and pay bills and save money with a mobile digital banking. Now, I'm sure I don't have to tell you how lucrative this field is because I'm sure you have all interacted with it at some point in your life. I'm sure you have used PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, or the rest at some point to pay something, send somebody money, or to complete a transaction. Now, this entire industry is growing at an exponential rate, but I wanted to talk to you guys quickly about the company that I believe will come out on top of the industry and beat the rest of these companies, not only in growth, but in innovation. So let's dive deeper into Square. So Square is a company that provides B2B businesses with the point of sale system, allowing businesses to process payments in the stores. They also provide a suite of tools that provides these small businesses with digital marketing, inventory management, and a bunch of other things that allows businesses to operate very smoothly. So now that's one side of their facing business. So then more importantly, I'm sure you've heard of CashApp, which is the online mobile banking system and tool. So CashApp allows people to have a private and personal wallet where you're able to store your money, but you're also able to send people money through that wallet. And very recently, you're able to buy Bitcoin and invest through that platform. And not only that, you're able to get a debit card, allowing you to spend your private wallet money at stores or online if you choose to. So now basically what I just described is a bank. So this is a bank that allows you to be mobile, on the go. You don't have to have a physical banking location to do a lot of your transactions. Everything can be done digitally. So currently at this time of this video, Square is currently trading at $276.57 on the market. And as you can see here, they're at a market cap of $124.7 billion. Now you're thinking, this company, it looks like it's very expensive. The price of the stock is expensive. The market cap looks very high. But I would say this industry is just beginning to make its mark. So now let's look closely at the financial details here. So you can see their quarterly growth is very, very high. Very, very recently, in quarter 3 2020, they reported a revenue of $3 billion. And in the past year, it was under $2 billion. In the past quarter, it was under $2 billion. So now let's look at the annual data regarding this. So then if you look at these numbers, these are absolutely spectacular. You can see here that the revenue is $4.71 billion in 2019. And as we just mentioned, the quarterly earnings for quarter 3 in 2020, one quarter out of 4, was $3 billion, which is very, very close to the annual report of 2019. As you can see, in one quarter of 2020 alone, they have almost made what they made in 2019. So you can see that that's an exponential growth. So this is showing the data for 2019. But if we look here, 2020 is poised for very, very huge returns. So let's look closely at 2019. So we can see the net income here grew by 1,000%, which is mind-blowing to say the least. And then we also can see the earnings price per share diluted is growing at 1,000% as well. And the net profit margin is 781%. These numbers are ridiculously phenomenal. I lost for words. I can't wait to see what happens on February 23rd when Square releases their Q4 report for 2020 and they put all of those reports together for their full annual report, because I kid you not, their numbers will approach $10 billion, which is going to be a ridiculous growth rate. Now let's take a closer look at what researchers have to say about Square. So here from Ark Invest, it's the Square's valuation model. It's talking about CashApp's potential. So the first thing the researcher says here is, we believe that Square's CashApp could become a leading global consumer financial service provider if CashApp can monetize 20% of its US user base at a level of traditional banks today. Then, with modest growth in its seller business, Square could return 19% at an annual rate during the next 5 years, rising from $150 today to $375 per share in 2025. And as we can see here, this report came out in September 30th, 2020, and today is February 2021, and it's grown from $150 to almost $300 between now and then, not even 5 years. And even 19% annual rate of growth is way higher than the average in the market. The S&P 500 grows at an annual rate of 9%, which is the go-to stock for a lot of people for the average US economy. But here we can see that that absolutely blows it out of the waters and blows it out of the park. Now I'm having another one of those if I had $100,000 moments. So here we can take a look at the closer details at how Square will grow by 2025. So then let's look at the total addressable market, which is huge because it is how much or how many people Square is able to sell their services to over time. And that looks like it's almost going to be doubling between 2019 and 2025. And then also, if we look at CashApp, a specific product line, their monthly active users is growing almost by triple the rate because, and this is a huge and significant number to pay attention to because Square's CashApp in 2020 accounted for almost 75% of its revenue. And that's why Square almost got $10 billion worth of revenue in 2020. So this number will be key moving forward in terms of growth. So then also, I don't want to focus too closely on Square Capital and the online store, but let's talk about Bitcoin revenue. So in 2020, October, Square bought 50 million worth of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin at the time was priced around 20,000, a little around that price. So now in February 2021, that we're speaking, Square's asset in Bitcoin has almost doubled, almost tripled. Bitcoin is currently sitting at a price of 55,000. So the revenue alone that they have generated from their investment has almost tripled, which is amazing. And I know you might be thinking, is it too late? Square is already at $270. Is it too expensive? Am I getting in late? Am I gonna make money in the long term? And I am gonna say here, I invested when it was $85. I invested when it was $200. I invested when it was $240, and I will invest again even if it's $300. So I want to bring your attention closer to Ark Invest and their ETFs and portfolio. So here, if we look at their Ark Invest Innovation portfolio, we see Tesla number 1 in their portfolio. But if you look at number 3 with 5.23% of the weight of the portfolio is Square. So it's the top 3 of their holdings in this portfolio. And Innovation portfolio is Ark Invest's number 1 portfolio. So, and we can see here that they hold 5 million shares with over $1 billion worth of assets there. So the reason I'm bringing your attention to this is to show a little bit of why I think this company is going to be continue to grow in the future. I still think they're very, very early, very early on in terms of maturity. Now, the other important thing I want to bring your attention to is their second ETF, the FinTech Innovation ETF, specifically focused on FinTechnology. So we can see here that they seek long-term growth of capital, and they seek to invest at least 80% in domestic and foreign equities. So this is what they deem FinTech, transaction innovations, which Square checks off the box. Blockchain technology, again, they check off the box with their Bitcoin investments. Risk transformation, frictionless funding platforms, customer-facing platforms, new intermediaries. So here we can see that obviously Ark Invest has been making solid investments. If we look at their all-time, it's been nothing but splendid growth. This was again the pandemic that recovered very quickly. So now let's go closer to the important information. So here in their FinTech ETF, we can see here that Square is what? Number one, leading the charge with almost 10% of its weight. Square here is held with 1.7 million shares, a little under what they had in their Innovation ETF. But here you can see they have $571 million invested here. The reason I'm bringing your attention to this as well is because a company and a research-driven company like Ark Invest has this FinTech portfolio, and they're willing to bet that Square is the number one FinTech company by putting them as their most invested in portfolio. So this is another thing I just wanted to bring your attention to. Now, I just want to say I can't wait for February 23rd. I can't wait to see what Square has to announce to the public. I can't wait to see what they report for their financials. I believe the financials is going to beat any estimates out there, and I think this is going to be one of the most successful years Square has ever had. I can't wait to see that information, and I can't wait to bring that update to you. So thanks for watching this video. Drop a like if you liked it. Drop a comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you think Square is a long-term investment. Let me know if you have other FinTech companies that you're interested in. I can't wait to bring you more videos. Stay tuned.